Yo, welcome in, man. Today is November the 19th. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. We'll go through a couple of the comments, do a quick recap as we always do, and then I think we only got 6 games on the board for today. I'm gonna try to be efficient with my time yet again. Get through as many of the games, maybe all of them except one. See if we can find some ways to make some money. Yesterday on the show, I apologize for the people who took the plays on the show yesterday. I know I've been actually kind of on a heater recently as far as show plays, but yesterday I gave out Philly plus the points, and even though they had a 17-point lead, they ended up, I think, scoring felt like 10 points in the second half of the game. Absolutely got blew out by the Miami Heat at home. And then I did take Detroit. I laid the points with Detroit. Chicago's going to be one of those teams. I can see it early. Chicago's going to be one of those teams where defensively they're still going to be bad, but when they're coming off a bad loss, they're probably going to try to lock in a little bit more defensively in the next game, and that's exactly what they did yesterday. As far as the other plays that I gave out yesterday, I didn't give these out on the show yesterday, but I did give out Benedict Mathurin. Once Miles Turner got rolled out up and over his 20.5 points, that was an easy winner. He finished with 28. And then I also talked about yesterday on the show, like in Atlanta plus the 4.5. I ended up getting a +4 with Atlanta, and they won the game outright in Sacramento. So 2-2 day yesterday overall. I also gave out a couple leans that also cashed, but that I probably should have got to the window with, like Washington team total under, like the Bucks team total under. Both of those were winners, but we split yesterday, so not too bad. But definitely could have been a little bit better yesterday. I actually don't love the slate today, so I'm interested in talking the games out with you guys. I've made one play, and there's one more that I'm going to put a little sprinkle on, but I am interested in kind of talking the games out today. So let's go through a couple of the comments real quick. Prolific says, good morning, Chris. Here as always. What up, Marquise? What up, Prolific? What up, Mark? What up, GLB Best? G Heard in here as well. A lot of the Discord in here. Appreciate you guys for tapping in. What's up, Sean? He says, top of the morning, fam. Smash the like button. Celtics trifecta, Spanky says tonight. Sean says Magic money line at +104 was good to me. So was the Rockets +4.5. That -4 with the Warriors though, not so much. Yeah, the Warriors for whatever reason have struggled against the Clippers this year. They've lost 2 of their 3 games, I think, so far against this team, or 2 of their 4 games. How many games they've lost? Peasy said he cashed last night with the Bulls, the Bucks. The Texans went 3-0 yesterday. You must have took the Bucks on the money line. They won the game. Yeah, they won the game, didn't cover the spread. What's up, Rodney? G421 in here as always. What's up, bro? To you. What up, Malik? Your Bulls killed me last night, Malik. I think I'm 2-1 betting on the Bulls. No, 1-2 betting on the Bulls. I faded them and lost some money. Took them the other day against Cleveland, lost some money, but then did win some money with them against the Bulls. What up, DJ Props in here? Says let's make some Laker money today. Yeah, I got a play in that Laker game that we'll talk about. Marie says Halliburton under his 10.5 assists was cash. Yeah, Holly does not look the same right now, man. What up, Rain Beam? Tariq in here says I was on the Pistons in Golden State. I was on the Heat in Orlando, 2-2 for him. Malik says I wouldn't even say lock in more defensively. They just hit the shots, and that's what it was. I think it was 7-9 from the 3-point line in the first quarter. I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those days. I saw Cody Martin hitting, Zach LaVine hitting. I knew what time it was. I knew Detroit wasn't gonna be able to weather that storm. Defensively, they're not that great either, and from the 3-point line specifically, Chicago's hitting those shots like that. The game always gonna go over most of the time, and they always going most of the time cover because they're gonna be getting points like that all season, in my opinion. Prolific says Cavs Celtics is just a matchup, just a must watch, no play. We'll talk about that game. I actually did play it. What up to my guy Justin? Florence says, yo, Chris, we got to stop doubting the Bulls. I actually backed the Bulls. I played the Bulls. I bet on the Bulls twice this season so far, Florence. And they covered against the Knicks and got smoked to the Cavs. So I was on the Bulls on Friday. Thought they were taking too many points. All right, let's jump into it for today. PZ says, shout out to Dame for getting that game-winning layup with no time left. Yeah, it was a pretty good winner for Dame. I always talk about jaXon. If you guys are interested in checking jaXon out, let me know. there's a link for this in the description of the video for 50% off if you guys are interested in checking it out. Shoot me a DM on Twitter at ChrisBeCappinn 2 P's 2 N's if you have any questions about it. But I did look at jaXon this morning for the Brooklyn and Charlotte game, just kind of wanting to see what it thought. And maybe I'll talk about that when we get to that game. First game we got up for today, though. Let's jump right into it. We got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. I think this line. So if you guys watched the evening show, this was. I'm sorry, not the evening show. If you watched the weekend show, when I did a show on Sunday, when I did the show on Sunday, we know that the in-season tournament games, which it is in-season tournament Tuesday, the in-season tournament games, every game that's played today is an in-season tournament game. These lines come out early. This was Boston -2 on Sunday. And the total was a lot lower than 235.5 too. This was like 230, 220, 229, I think. So we've seen a lot of money come in on Boston. We've seen a lot of money come in on the over in this spot. So looking at the game, you got a Cleveland Cavaliers team that's undefeated. We know that they're 15-0, the last of the unbeaten teams in the NBA. This team is also 11-4 against the spread in the first half. I'm sorry, for the full season. And I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me jump to the injury report real quick, even though I already had it on my notes. So Isaac Okoro is listed as questionable for this game. He sprained his ankle in the first half of the game against the Hornets on Sunday. And then Dean Wade is also popped up on the injury report. Dean Wade will not play in this game. He also suffered an ankle injury and left the game on Sunday when they were playing against the Charlotte Hornets as well. That's two big pieces, in my opinion, for this team. You also got Caris LeVert popped up on the injury report. He's listed as questionable, dealing with a knee issue. And then Sam Merrill is also listed as questionable for tonight's game with an ankle injury as well. So Cleveland did not play. And of course, they're without Max Strus. Monty Bates continues to be out as well. They didn't play Donovan Mitchell in the game against Charlotte on Sunday. They just listed him out as just kind of rest. He was dealing with a little bit of I don't know if it was an ankle injury or something. I think he just like took the day off. He seemed like he was totally fine. Now on the Boston side, Drew Holiday missed the game against the Toronto Raptors the other day, but he is listed as in. Peyton Pritchard is the only person that popped up on the injury report. It looks like he listed as questionable with a left thumb sprain. Left thumb don't got anything to do with his right hand, which is the hand that he shoots the ball with, and he's been doing so very efficiently so far this season. So a couple of different things that popped up in this game. Of course, this is the game of the season so far. The NBA will try to market the hell out of this game because you do have probably the best two teams in the Eastern Conference by far right now. You got a Boston team that's coming off. They have 2 days rest, so one extra day because Cleveland did play on Sunday. Boston last game was against the Toronto Raptors. They were at home, so they didn't have to travel. They've won 4 of their last 5 games, and they're 11-3 straight up, 7-7 against the number so far. They do have more rest before this game and after this game. They actually don't play again until Friday when they play the Wizards. So you talk about not looking ahead. Boy, everybody's beating the Wizards by 25. We got to just start instantly taking them as soon as the spread opens. Just bet against the Wizards. But back to this game, that spot that I just talked about popped up in the systems that I run. It popped up last night. You got a home favorite with more rest before and after the game. Since the 2021 season, that is a pretty strong trend on playing teams and laying the points in that spot. It's sitting about 55% over the course of the last 4 seasons. The other thing that was pretty telling in this spot was just that Boston is a favorite after winning so many games, after Cleveland has won so many games in a row. So I looked at that. I looked at it a couple of different ways. The first thing I looked at was teams that have won 5 straight games and then all of a sudden they're a dog. 174, 210, 9 against the number. So they're not covering in this spot. That's only 45%. 55% says take Boston. But then when I looked at it a little bit more, and I went teams that have won 10 straight games, which, like I said, Cleveland is on a 15-game winning streak. Those dogs are just 10-28 straight up, 11-27 and 1 against 11-27 against the number only covering 28.9% of the time. So this trend says that, Boston's favored for a reason here. Like I said, this line has moved. It looks like even right now, since we started the show, some more money's come in. It looks like a Boston -4.5 is still out there on Bet365. That's the way I chose to play it. I did send out Boston last night minus the 4.5. It's up to 5. It's up to 5.5 on a couple books, but there are still a couple 4.5s out there as well. As far as, like the head-to-head matchup, I think the other thing that I was thinking about when I was thinking about this game was just kind of looking at, and let me just pull it up real quick. I was just looking at. I don't really want to discount the. I don't want to discredit the. I don't want to discredit the Cleveland Cavaliers, but their recent wins have come against the Hornets, the Bulls, the 76ers, the Bulls, the Nets. They did beat the Wizards. They smoked the Wizards. The Wizards were coming off, an outright win. I think against who did they win against? They had just beaten somebody that they had just beaten Boston. Matter of fact, they got a game in here against the Pelicans, the Bucks. This does not align with the strength of schedule. I think that they will absolutely get the attention of the Boston Celtics in this game. I was reading through, some stuff last night coming from the players, and it sounds like they're gonna get up for this game. And I absolutely think that they get up for this game as well. When I look at Cleveland, even with them playing those poor teams, the Hornets, the Bulls, the 76ers, the Bulls, the Nets, the Warriors, not the Warriors, but the Pelicans, the Bucks, the Magic without Paolo Banchero, they still struggling to guard the three-point line. We know that's what Boston wants to do. This team is still number one in three-point frequency. They're still number one in above the break three frequency. Still number 4 in corner three frequency, and they're shooting the three-point ball pretty well. Still shooting 38%. You look at Cleveland defensively against the three-point line, 28%. 28th in opponent 3% opponent 3% accuracy. They're allowing teams to shoot 38.6%. From above the break three, they're bottom 5 in that category as well. So Cleveland still has some deficiencies. I do think that they pick on some of the smaller guards, the Donovan Mitchells of the world, the Darius Garlands of the world. Boston won't want to try to get inside the paint and try to score on Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, in my opinion. They'll shoot a ton of threes and they probably will go in. So I chose to play Boston in this spot. Let's see if you guys have anything in this one before we keep it moving. Where did I start at? What up, Jose? What up, Solo? Jared said, I almost took a stab at the Raptors money line, but got scared off, and I'm mad at myself. Yeah, it was a good spot for him last night. Drop a dime says he got Celtics at -3.5. Hey, Justin. So real quick on this comment, Justin. I was looking into it last night, looked into it some more this morning. The 76ers had a players only meeting last night. They were in there for over an hour. And Joel Embiid ended up coming out and saying, this is my first time kind of going through this, some growing pains, and I might have to lock in to be a little bit more. I might have to do a little bit more. Not be as patient with my teammates and just kind of lock in and be a lot more aggressive. I looked into the spot. They actually got the Memphis Grizzlies coming up with a couple days rest. I think the game is in Memphis. So I'll just say that I don't think I'm betting them no more though. That was only my first time betting the 76ers yesterday too, but I don't think I want to get there with them again. Maurice says Celtics tonight. Garland was gassed last game. I'm on the Celtics. I am bleeding green tonight. What up, Brian? He says Miami yesterday and Houston Texans. Let's go. Boston and nothing for chosen one. Tariq says he took the +5 with the Cavs. They do not want to be blown out by the Celtics. You got to get blown out if you lose by 6. Tariq. Justin says he put OKC -8.5 in the Discord. Brian says, what about Boston team total over first half? Does anyone have the points? It's probably somewhere around 57.5, I would say. I think their team total for the full game is the full team total for the full game, I think, is 119.5. So it's 59.5 right now. DraftKings got the best number at -112. Brian. What up, Brian? He says he took Nets first half -1.5. I could not talk you off. Brian says you're going Cavs +5 and +5 is going to be very tight tonight. We'll see how tight it actually is. Okay, we'll see. Drew Holiday is in, Marquise. He is in. Brian says Derek White threes. I think that's a great play. He'll probably be the guy that's getting all the looks, the wide open looks, and he's known for knocking them down, especially in these big games. Jerry says I played him second half. The Cavs should run out of gas. Yeah, it's that more rest before and after, like I said. So I'm going with the spot here. The spot says take Boston. I think Boston will be fired up and motivated for this game. Spent a little bit too much time on that one. Let's go over here to Charlotte and Brooklyn. So game will be played. We got the Hornets getting 3 points now. This line was actually at 1.5 yesterday. I saw it started to pop last night. I didn't know why it was popping, so I stayed off of it. But now you got Charlotte getting 3 points. They were getting, like I said, 1.5. This total's come down just a tad bit. I wrote down 221.5 yesterday in my notes, or last night in my notes. It's actually down to 220.5 right now. I do think that that's the right side, but these teams haven't neither team has been playing defense recently. And both teams have been playing against much better competition, in my opinion, as well. You got a Charlotte team coming in here on the third game in 4 nights. Of course, they just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers after beating the Milwaukee Bucks at home. So a little fatigue spot for them here. Injury report for the Charlotte side. I think I did see Trey Mann is listed as game time decision. He's questionable with a back injury. I think he did get ruled out. Yeah, he didn't play in the game on Sunday. And then Nick Richards and Mark Williams, of course, continue to remain out. On the Brooklyn side, they have Dorian Finney-Smith listed as probable for this game. He's playing through a little minor ankle injury, and they will continue to be without Nick Claxton, which, in my opinion, I think the Nick Claxton thing was pretty big. I was looking into that a little bit this morning because I know I looked into it last week, and Nick Claxton has been a revelation for this team. Brooklyn with Nick Claxton on the floor is actually a plus 4.6 in points scored per 100 possessions. They're scoring about 116 points per 100 possessions with him on the floor, giving up 111. With Nick Claxton off the floor, they're getting outscored by almost 9 points per 100 possession. They're scoring 115, but giving up 124 per 100 possessions. So I didn't like the Brooklyn Nets as much in this spot. I don't want to play with Charlotte. I do think Brooklyn is the better team between the two right now. But maybe Charlotte could go ahead and win this game. I don't have too strong of an opinion. Charlotte has lost 5 of their last 6 games on the road. That doesn't make me want to put my money on them here. If you're taking Brooklyn, I think they've been home favorites twice this season. They're 1-1 against the number, lost outright to the Bulls, but then they did beat, I forgot who they beat. They beat somebody in this spot, and they've actually won only 3 of their 6 games at home this season, even though like I said, they are 1-1 against the number. So not too great of a spot. I know Brooklyn has been playing against some pretty competitive teams as of late. When I was looking through their game logs, they did just lose to the Knicks back-to-back games. They did play Boston, lose that game as well. They covered 2 of those spreads, or got a push in one, covered one, and then got absolutely smoked by the Boston Celtics. So they have regressed, like I said, defensively. They've been terrible defensively, and I think that correlates with them playing against some really good offenses in Boston and New York back-to-back. But then also just that, they've been they don't have Nick Claxton, and I think that's a lot of rim protection that's gone, especially when you have a versatile defender like Dorian Finney-Smith kind of trying to play through an ankle injury. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Ben Simmons, and I'm looking through their defensive ratings right now. Last 3 games, they have a defensive rating of 128 or worse. So they're giving it up. Tons of points in the last 3 games. Defensively, they're kind of falling off the cliff, which is what we kind of expected from them. If we're being honest with ourselves, we didn't expect Brooklyn to be that great defensively. I think they did lock in for Coach Fernandez, but I wasn't expecting that. Charlotte also hasn't been great defensively. 130.9 defensive rating in their last game against the Cleveland Cavaliers. They had a 118.8 against the Milwaukee Bucks. And I just don't want to take the points for Charlotte on the road, but I could see this game kind of being a coin flip. I kind of wanted to get there with the under, but like I said, with both defenses being so poor recently, and I know that both teams have been playing against some really good offenses, Boston, New York, Cleveland, I guess Milwaukee's a good offense, but I couldn't quite get there with anything in this game, so I'm not going to talk about it any longer. I think I wanted to get there with the under, though. Let's just go through a couple of comments real quick before we keep it moving. Justin says he did tell Celtics -4.5 sometime in the middle of the night. Yes, it's still 4.5 on a couple books if people want to get there. What's up, Keely? He says, good morning, fam. Looking at OKC wire to wire today. I like it. We'll talk about that game in just a second. Hornets could lock up, Maurice says. He says he agreed with the total move. Yeah, so the thing about the over in this game, real quick on the over in this game, and then I'm going to keep it moving because I did some more diving in this game. So the Hornets team total, I think, is like 109.5. The Hornets have only scored 120 points on the road 3 times so far this season. Yeah, 3 times so far this season. They scored 110 against the Rockets on opening night. They got to 120 against the Hawks, which, I mean, everybody does that. And then the Cleveland Cavaliers, they scored 114. Cleveland wasn't locked in defensively. I think they probably were looking ahead to this game against Boston. But against the Magic and against the 76ers and against the Timberwolves, they scored 105 points or less. They're actually 4-2 to the under on the road so far this season. Their offense can really struggle to score the basketball. I think if you want the team total over, or you want Charlotte, you want all the offense that you can get. You want Trey Mann in there as well. And something just kind of tells me that this game could be played with a lot of pace. I know Charlotte doesn't play super fast. Brooklyn without a true center though, because remember, Day'Ron Sharpe is also he's also been missing time. He's already been ruled out for this game as well. So I think that the pace, I guess, the more I talk about it, the more I think it's an over game. Because neither one of these teams been playing defense recently. I think LaMelo, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, I think they got enough offense. Brooklyn, like I said, they've aggressed defensively a lot as well. Drop a Dime says he played Bridges up and over his 16.5 points. He says he absolutely eats against this team. And with no Claxton, there's no rim protection. I just kind of mentioned it. He said one more time against the Grizzlies. I don't even know if I'm a bet it, Justin. I'm just putting it out there just so you know, my brother. Just so you know. They did have a hour plus long team only meeting players only meeting last night. Did the Philadelphia 76ers. What up, Will? He says, I think Miles Bridges gets 8 rebounds at plus 170. He says, is that insane or am I tripping? I mean, who getting the rebounds for Brooklyn? Ben Simmons? He probably played 15 minutes? I'm not a big Ben Simmons guy. Tariq says he's looking at taking the over. Starting to make a lot of sense. Brian says Charlotte has been playing tough teams, and I agree with that. He says, but the Nets at home have been a wagon in the first half. I don't know. They have been. I think they are. If I go to moneyballer.com, I can get the number for that real quick. And while I'm pulling up the number, I'll check out a couple more comments real quick. First half over. G421 says, feel like a LaMelo triple-double game could happen tonight. My opinion, not yours. Says, I can see it. Malik says Cam Thomas should feast. Absolutely. I can see that as well. Maybe a Cam Thomas and LaMelo 30 ball together. LaMelo's averaging 30, I think. So that's not even anything, difficult for him to do. Let's see if I can get that number real quick. LaMelo points, rebounds, and assists, Merle says. Yeah, I can see that too. Says it took over 218.5. Justin says, I love betting teams first game after a meeting. I agree with that. That's typically the only way I'm looking to bet it as well. We'll see how things shake out. Memphis also plays tonight against Denver, which we'll talk about in just a second. So real quick, Nets are 12-2 against the number in the first half. I know that they've lost, I think, 2 of their last 3 in the first half because they didn't cover against one time. We faded them against Boston. And they had only 1 loss, and then they've lost the first half again. I don't know if it was against the Nets. One of the game against the Nets, against the Knicks, I'm guessing they lost in the first half. But as a home favorite, 2-0 straight up against the number in the first half. So 12-2 overall in the first half, and 2-0 as a home favorite in the first half. The Hornets have been 5-8 against the number in the first half, and just 1-5 against the number in the first half on the road. So that Nets, from a trends perspective, that Nets first half makes a lot of sense. All right, let's keep it moving. Cheeseburger says Nets have been kind of scrappy this year, and I would agree with that. BJ says Nets up to 5, Celtics up to 5.5. Love to see that. Hopefully they can cover. I need them tonight. Let's keep going. Let's go over to Denver and Memphis. And this is a very difficult game to kind of handicap without knowing the status of Nikola Jokic. His wife did have their baby over the course of the weekend. So he's listed as game time decision. Of course, he just missed the game that they just played. And these two teams just played. Denver got smoked in that game. I think they ended up losing by 15 points. Memphis jumped out on them early. Denver kind of came back a little bit. Memphis put the foot on their necks late in that game. So Jokic is listed as questionable. No Aaron Gordon, of course. And then on the opposite side, I did see Marcus Smart was upgraded to questionable in this game. And then Zach Edey, of course, is now out for this game. He's been ruled out. I did see him roll his ankle in the third quarter in that game on Sunday. And that to me is a big deal. I think when I think about the Denver Nuggets without Nikola Jokic, I think about a team that's not as physical, especially if they don't have Nikola Jokic and they don't have and Aaron Gordon. Like, I'm not relying on Peyton Watson and DeAndre Jordan to score points, block shots, get rebounds, none of that stuff. And not to say that they can't, but offensively, it puts a lot on the strength of Jamal Murray, in my opinion, for him to have to play really, really well. So, I mean, that I can't quite like. I know Memphis is deep. They still have a lot of players out there. You still got Brandon Clark, Jared Jackson Jr., Desmond Bane. I think Jalen Wells is averaging like 16 points per game as a rookie, kind of flying underneath the radar. Scottie Pippen Jr. has been really, really good for them without Ja Morant. This was a game that, and it's a divisional game as well. This was a game that I kind of wanted to, not a divisional game, a conference game. This was a game, and this line was at 3.5 yesterday. If Nikola Jokic plays, of course, I mean, that would make you want to like Denver a little bit more. But this was a game that I kind of thought we should play under on. I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens with the Nikola Jokic injury news. So the game that they played on Sunday did go under the total. Denver only scored like 90 points in that game. That total was at 228. Now you see the total come down. It actually went all the way down to 226.5. Now I see it back up to 227. So I'm glad I didn't play it last night. But it's just if you know, trend is active on this game. Teams that are playing each other within a week, where the first game went under, the books open the total a little bit lower. That's a 60% trend, says that the next game goes over. Next game goes under, going all the way back to the 2013 season. Something that I really don't want to bet against right now. So, like I said, I don't want to handicap the game without Nikola Jokic being there, but without him, I'm not taking the points with Denver. They've lost back-to-back games against Memphis. They lost to the Pelicans without Nikola Jokic. So I want nothing to do with Denver. Memphis is covered. I think I wrote it in my notes. Memphis has covered 6 straight games. Yeah, they are playing on the first leg of a back-to-back. They got Philly tomorrow, though. So that could be the spot for Philly tomorrow with Memphis coming off. If they, this game goes down to the wire because Nikola Jokic plays, maybe it's a spot where you jump in on Philly tomorrow, maybe first half. I'm not sure if they're going to cover a full game, but they did cover the first half last night. So, yeah, those are my quick thoughts. Under and just wait on Jokic, in my opinion. Let's see. What are you guys saying about this one? Chosen One says he likes the Grizzlies -3.5. Got in early. Christopher says Philly is bad for me. Only a fade. G Herb says this feels like a Denver spot. A little bounce back spot for Denver. A Jackson says under. Okay, so some more love for the under. Jay Aries says Denver doesn't deserve anybody's money. Go feed the homeless if you try to give it away. Yeah, they've looked pretty bad, man. I think back-to-back games where they scored 90 points, right? If we look at Denver real quick, Denver last 2 games without Nikola Jokic have posted an offensive rating of 93.8 points scored per 100 possessions against the Memphis Grizzlies and 103.3 points scored per 100 possessions against the New Orleans Pelicans. They scored 90 points against Memphis and 94 points against the New Orleans Pelicans without Nikola Jokic. So I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I've been searching everywhere, up, down, left, right, trying to figure out if he's been with the team. I can't find anything on it. So based on what the beat writer tweeted out a little like maybe 5 hours ago, sounds like he's not with the team, but I couldn't confirm that. So I haven't played anything. If he's out, I'm playing under. I mean, clearly I'm playing under. Let's see. What up, AOD? Mark says last game low total. I also like the under 227. Yeah, I think that's the right play. Malik says, I didn't realize Jamal Murray was so bad. Man can't do nothing for himself. Hey, yeah, when you play with the MVP and a person, like, people don't give out, and this is the show not for this, but if people don't give they don't give Nikola Jokic enough flower, like give him enough credit, man. This dude is crazy good. Like, Nikola Jokic is like he's all world, man, in my opinion. Let's move over to the last one I think I got on the card for today, which is the Utah Jazz and the Los Angeles Lakers game. I think this was 9.5 last night. Yeah, it was 9.5 last night, and now it's up to 11. Walker Kessler is ruled out in this game on the Utah Jazz side of things. And on the Lakers side of things, I think Rui Hachimura is still on the injury report, dealing with an ankle injury. He didn't play in the last game. I want to say he didn't. Yeah, he didn't play in the last game because the last game, he's actually missed the past 3 games. And the last game, they kind of slid Dalton connecting to the lineup, and he absolutely went crazy. And I don't see a reason why he can't go crazy again. Utah is not good. They're in a bad spot. And yeah, I just, it's a super big number. I can't lay this many points with the Lakers, but it's a terrible spot for the Utah Jazz. This is a 3rd game in 4 nights, 4th game in 6 nights. They didn't have to travel too far because they just got blown out at the Intuit Dome when they were playing against the Clippers. The Lakers, for whatever reason, they take these cup games super serious. I don't know if people know this or not, but the Lakers are 8-0 straight up and against the spread in cup play. Since it started, the Lakers have not lost a cup game. They've covered every single cup game. So for whatever reason, they play these games, very, very tough. This is the first game back home after a little short 2-game road trip where they did win both of them against the San Antonio Spurs and the New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers have won 5 straight, and they're actually just they're one of 2 undefeated teams at home so far this season. 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the number at the crib. The only other team that's undefeated at home, of course, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lakers are 6-0 straight up, and 4-2 against the spread as double-digit home favorites since the start of last season. I think it's just a bad spot for the Jazz, man. I really wanted to get there with the Lakers team total last night. I probably should have just pulled the trigger, but I didn't. It was 119.5. This total was at 231. Now the team total is 122.5, and the game total is going up to 235.5. So I think I missed the number there for what I wanted to play it at. I do think that the Jazz, potentially could keep up offensively in this spot. And one of the systems that I had said that pretty much what it says is that you fade a double-digit road dog that's playing a 5th game in 8 nights. It's a 57% trend says that the Lakers cover and win this game by double digits tonight. But like I said, I didn't play it. The team total at I think it was 119.5, 120. Like I said, that's something that I probably should have got to the window with. The Lakers have scored 122 points in 4 of their 6 home games this season. And because it's a cup game, I do think that, they probably continue to try to score to get some separation, later, because all of the points matter. So that's the way that I was looking in this game here. I did not play it though. I'm not laying like 11 is a little bit too rich for my blood with the Lakers. The books kind of priced me out in this spot. Let's see. So Rico, this is gonna say says he's out. Most injury reports are going. He's listed as questionable. He's not been ruled out. But if players have been ruled out the last game, most of the time you're gonna get the same thing for this game until it changes. So just something to kind of take into consideration. Michael Porter Jr. assists. She says, I took the Nuggets hoping to catch CLV if he does play. Yeah, I'm not sure if he plays though. I think real quick, the Nuggets next game, if they come back home after this game, I think it kind of makes sense for him not to fly to Memphis. Yeah, the next game is against the Mavs on Friday. They'll be at home for that game. So yeah, maybe he doesn't fly out. And if he doesn't fly out, I like the under and I like the Grizzlies. But more so the under. Let's see. Lakers first quarter, first half. He says 11 might be too many, but I like them early. Yeah, the Jazz have been a fade on the road. They've been a fade on the road this season. They've been a fade in the first half. And then I'll give you guys some quick thoughts on the other games that I didn't cap. The Jazz they are actually 4-3 against the number on the road so far this season. 4-3 to the under. And like I said, they just lost to the Clippers by 11. They were on the second leg of a back-to-back in that spot, but it's still not a good spot for them here, in my opinion. They've covered 2 of the last 3 on the road, though. I think Utah can cover, Tariq says. They're already in LA and coming off a loss. Yeah, I'm not laying the points with the Lakers, but I can see the Lakers smoking them in this spot. G421 says Jazz been covering the cup games. It don't matter if you cover them, though. Well, I guess for this it does matter, but you got to win them. DJ Prop says AD 30 points just feels right with no Walker Kessler. He says versus Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler's actually out, so it's even more of a reason to like it. Prop. This is what I like in the game. I didn't check out jaXon, but I could put this in the chat a little bit later for you in the Discord a little bit later, Malik. I'll let you know the under in this game. jaXon likes the under in the Nets game, like I did. The Nets in Charlotte. jaXon likes the under. jaXon also likes Charlotte, likes Brooklyn as well, minus the 2.5 when I looked at it early this morning. Kendrick says he likes Dalton Connect open over his points. He says if this is a blowout, he'll be the first one off the bench. So he might be in the starting lineup if Rui Hachimura doesn't play, because Rui Hachimura hasn't been rolled in yet. So something to kind of take into consideration. This is what I like right here, Andrew. And this is what I have on the short list already. Haven't bet it yet, but I probably will lock it in. I saw that plus 290. Andrew says LeBron can get a triple-double if he wants to here. So my initial thought process was I want to take Bron up and over his assists at 9.5. I didn't know if it was going to be 8.5 or 9.5. Remember, we got to remember last week LeBron had 4 straight triple-doubles. His triple-double streak ended against the New Orleans Pelicans the other day. I think he only had like 7 and 5 or something like that. You get a fast-paced team in the Jazz. The Lakers at home. We know that their offense has been one of the better offenses at the crib. I think LeBron's absolutely going to be in facilitator mode. Why not get another triple-double in this spot? I think this is the best spot for LeBron to get a triple-double. So like I said, initially it was the assist. The best line that was available was minus 135 for LeBron James to get 10 assists on, I think it was BetMGM when I looked at it this morning. So I thought, why not triple-double? LeBron can get a triple-double against the Jazz. There's no Walker Kessler. All you got to do is go hunt rebounds. He's gotten 10 assists in 5 of his last 6 games or 4 of his last 5 games, at least 4 of his last 5 games, because he has a triple-double in 4 of his last 5 games. So I tried to build it out. It was plus 260 on BetMGM. So I think on Bet365. So I think the best you can do is go in and take LeBron triple-double, because you can get it at plus 290. At least it was plus 290 this morning. So yeah, those are my thoughts there. The other games that I didn't get to, appreciate you for shouting this out. I was going to get to it, but appreciate you for shouting that out, Andrew. The other things that I was going to talk about really quickly on the other games. So we got the Pelicans, the games that I didn't break down. You got the Pelicans on the road getting 12 points. This line was at 10.5 last night. Dallas is coming off a really confidence boosting win, back-to-back wins now. They just beat the Oklahoma City Thunder. And when you look at the Pelicans, like this was a team that I think you just play their team total under. I know that, Trey Murphy's back now, Brandon Ingram, they've looked pretty good in their last couple games, but the Pelicans are 4-10 straight up, 4-10 against the spread. And if you look at them on the road, they've been blasted every single time. 1-5 straight up, 0-6 against the number on the road. They're losing on the road by average of 18 points per game. They got blown up by the Thunder. I think it's an under game. Totals at 222. I don't know how much the Mavs will need to score. The Pelicans have been playing super slow. We talked about taking the Pelicans team total under. Against the Thunder, they scored 88 points. Their team total was 104. Against the Magic, they scored 88 points. Against the Warriors, they scored 89 points. Against the Warriors, they scored 106 points. Against the Trailblazers, they scored 103 points. And this was when they were a little bit more healthy with Zion Williamson. And against the Trailblazers, they scored 105. So this is a team that has not scored more than 105 points on the road, hence why they're 0-6 against the number. So it would be Dallas, even with a super long number. And I would look towards their team total to stay under. Again, I think the number is 106.5 is the way that I would play that one. Just thinking that they play super slow to try to keep themselves in the game. Don't want to get into a track meet. Luka is supposed to return in their game. So those are my quick thoughts on that game. The other game that I did not get a chance to talk about was the the Oklahoma City and the San Antonio Spurs game. So interestingly enough, the line was at 7 yesterday. Oklahoma City is now laying 9.5 points as road favorites in that game. The news popped when Victor Wembanyama was listed as doubtful. He did not play in the game when they got smoked on Saturday against the Dallas Mavericks. We correctly called that one as well. Said that he was probably going to pop up on the injury report. Of course, he didn't play. And San Antonio is in a terrible spot. With Victor Wembanyama off the floor, I was looking into it this morning. With Victor Wembanyama off the floor, so San Antonio overall they're only getting outscored by about 2 points per 100 possessions on the full season. With Victor Wembanyama on the floor, they're actually a +1. So they're actually outscoring teams by 1 point when he's on the floor. With Victor Wembanyama off the floor, they're -9 in points scored per 100 possessions. So they're getting absolutely, just blown out of the frame. And I think, if I had to play the spread, I lay the 9.5. I'm not going to, just because I know I missed the best of the number. I do expect this probably to close at about 10. And San Antonio defensively will be terrible without Victor Wembanyama. They have no rim protection, so maybe even an Oklahoma City team total at 116.5. I couldn't talk anybody off that. I think that you could get in that spot. Don't really like San Antonio team total under at 107.5 as much, but I also think that could be a play as well. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't play the game, because when I kind of like everything, I just stay off. I'm not sure which way to play it, but maybe just take later points with Oklahoma City in this spot if Victor Wembanyama is truly going to be ruled out. He hasn't been ruled out yet. He is listed as doubtful. So those are my thoughts on the other two games that I didn't get a chance to break down quite yet. Let's get into a quick recap of what it is that I did take. I'm on Boston today. Celtics, Beantown, bleed green, all that. Boston -4.5. I like LeBron James triple-double. I will be putting, it won't be a full unit bet, of course. I'll put a little sprinkle on LeBron James to get a triple-double in that game tonight against the Utah Jazz. The San Antonio team total under 107.5, or like I said, OKC team total over 116.5. I think both of those are in play, so you could just lay the 9.5 with San Antonio. I did not do so. And if Jokic is out, I'm taking the under in Denver and Memphis. I'm not sure if I'll play anything else, honestly. It's a cup day, but not a lot that I'm liking in these games, if I'm being honest with you guys. I'll probably just go ahead and try to get ahead for tomorrow before the lines even drop. So hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Here's some resources that I use to handicap the games. Best of luck on anything that you're betting today. The referral codes for all of these are linked in the description of the video. I encourage you guys to check them out. You can always cancel if you don't like them. You can always reach out to me on Twitter as well if you have any questions about any of these. But that'll be the show for today, man. Best of luck on whatever it is that you are betting. Enjoy your Tuesdays. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow, same time. I'm out.